Two junk journals in two totally different styles, created simultaneously. Welcome to another episode of this little series here on my YouTube channel, in which I want to show you that you can transfer any inspiration that you got from somewhere to your own junk journal or any other papercraft project in your very own unique style. In today's episode, I would like to discuss what you can do if you already have found your color palette and then you discover a new color. I would like to check if it is possible to include a new color into the color palette. For that, I will swatch Lost Shadow by Ranger today, and then I will check if that can go with the color palette for our clean journal that we've already created. Hi there, this is Luise Heinzel. Nice to see you here today. If you perhaps have missed the previous videos of this series, then please check out the info box. There's a whole playlist with all of the videos where you can check out how we came to this stage of the project. It would make sense to watch those videos first if you want to follow this series. And if you have followed the series, first, thank you very much for that. You know that I've waited for Lost Shadow, the new color by Ranger, and it has arrived. Because when we made the color palettes for both of the journals that I want to create within this series, we had one color palette, this one here, for the more clean journal that has lots of gray in it. And when I saw the release of Lost Shadow, I was like, oh my gosh, that color could match really well with this color palette. And I am still not sure if it will work. Let's say, I'm 99.9% sure that the color will match the color palette, and in the end of this video, it will be here. But I was waiting for that, and I thought, okay, we could try to include that into this color palette. And that's what I want to do today. And I also want to show you what you can do if you already have started a project and you have found your color palette, and then you find a new color in a shop, or because it was released in the moment where you were in the process of making your journal. What can you do? Yeah, is it possible to include the color, and how can you do that without getting in trouble with like being overwhelmed with too many colors? Or I just want to show you how you can do that. And I also would like to show you what you can do when you already have some pages for your journal, because we have used the colors that we already have here on the color palette for the pages to distress them and to alter them a little bit. And we don't have this color here yet. So what can we do if we can include it to the color palette? What can we then do with the pages? Is it possible to bring this color to the pages as well? Or, what can we do and how can we do that? For that, I first want to swatch the color. So that means I have prepared some things here that I need for making my swatch. If you are not familiar with my swatches, let me quickly show you my little box here. I have made this box where I have swatched all of my Ranger products in one place. I'm mainly using the Ranger product line for my projects, for my junk journaling, but of course you can do such a swatch box with any other brand as well. If you want to know more about this box, then please check out the info box as well. There's also a playlist about how I made this. And I can tell you, if you want to learn more about your colors, no matter which brand it is so helpful to have something like this. So if you are not sure how to learn more about your colors, check out that playlist. There were so many people who said, "Ooh, Louise, that is very helpful." There are so many out there who already started such a swatch box as well, and I'm so grateful for all of your comments. So I just wanted to quickly take the chance to say that you are so sweet and you gave me so many nice tips and things that you have thought about, what I can additionally do with my swatch box. That's so kind and so cute. You have written so long comments, like that was like reading a book or something. That was really special to me. So thank you very, very much for that. Yeah, so as I said, I have prepared my things here and I will swatch this color now. I will do that by speeding up the video a little bit and give you some music so that you can enjoy the color. I will not talk during that process. I don't want to go too much into detail with those swatches because I've already explained that in the other videos. So if you want to see that, as I said, please watch the playlist. There I explain everything in detail, what I'm going to do in this little booklet now. And I explain for every medium that is existing from such a color, what I'm going to do and why I'm going to do that. That would be way too long for this video, so that's the reason why you will hear some music now while I will do this.
I've been up and down a roller coaster ride. When our worlds collide, you light a fire inside. Shadows fade away whenever I feel you close to me. Shadows fade away. With you I am safe and sound. The shadows fade away. Wherever you are, that's where I'll be. Shadows fade away, away, away. Shadows fade away. Shadows fade away, away, away. Shadows fade away. Shadows fade I'm laying down my cards. You know I need your love. I follow through the night and put my heart on the line. Yeah. The world ain't black and white. You brought colors in my life. 'Cause shadows fade away whenever I feel you close to me. Shadows fade away. With you I am safe and sound. The shadows fade away. Wherever you are, that's where I'll be. Shadows fade
Okay, so here we go. This was, I would say, the most surprising color that I own and that I have swatched here for my collection. This is absolutely crazy. I have never expected that I could be so surprised about a gray. To be honest, when I saw the release of Lost Shadow, I was like a little bit like, okay, a gray. Gray is nice. I mean, yeah, gray is a great color for example, color combinations with brighter colors and extreme colors. Gray is always great, yeah. But I thought, really? I mean, really? Do I need that? And when I saw, and that is the most surprising thing for me, when I saw the oxide spray in the release video, I could see that here, can you see this different color here? We have experienced that, or we are experiencing that always when we are using those sprays, that those components have different colors. And this, like, yeah, what is this? I mean, it's like rosé. It's a little bit like a coral from under the sea. It's a little bit like grayish saltwater taffy. I mean, mix this with gray and you would have something relatively similar to this, what you can see here. And I've made the experience that those colors that you can see here in the bottle, when it's not shaked up, ready to use, yeah. So now it's gone. As you can see, when the bottle is shaked, then you can't see it anymore. But what you've seen before is sometimes something that you can see in the color later as well. And here on my swatch, I can see it. I can really see it. I mean, this is probably relatively hard for the camera, but there's a tiny little bit of exactly that color that we've seen before here in the bottle, before I've shaken it. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. The difference between the spray stain and the oxide spray is absolutely crazy. It's like it's a totally different color, but the same color at the same time. For me, nearly unbelievable. Also the same here on the back with the re-inkers. Here in the swatch of the re-inker of the oxide ink, you can perhaps see this crazy color that here is it. It has come back. This color here that you can see here now on the bottle. It's here in my swatch. And that's for me absolutely incredible because, yeah, I mean, there were experts who have made those sprays, and there's a reason why especially the oxide spray and the oxide ink is so popular. Yeah, not only this color, but those oxide mediums in general. But for me, it's this is magic. This is just magic. When I look at this, I have 3 different colors here on my page, even if it's the same color, and they would go so well together and create a wonderful background. Absolutely amazing. The same with the oxide ink pad. I've layered a lot here. I would say those are way more layers than on my other swatches. So let's, for example, compare that with saltwater taffy. Oh, look at this combination. This would be a really great color combination, but that's not the theme. Here I've made way more layers than here because the color is not so intensive. Of course, a gray on white you can't see so well than this color on white, yeah, but that's a normal thing, I would say. But perhaps if you want to swatch Lost Shadow as well, perhaps you want to have that in mind, that you perhaps want to make some more layers so that you can see the color really good. And you can see here, of course, different shades of the color. Here on the top, where not so much of the ink came to the paper, it is of course way lighter than here, where I made it really extremely, so that I can see what happens when I have more layers as well. The embossing glaze for me is totally surprising. This is such a cool color. The glaze on the coffee dyed paper here on top, absolutely amazing. I mean, look at this like vintage feeling that this gray on the coffee dyed paper gives us. Isn't this just amazing? And this color here on the white, fantastic, just fantastic. And I also want to answer a question that I got below my other videos where I made the swatches of the glazes. Some of you have asked why I have put a black area here on the bottom of my swatch and swatched the glaze on black, because the embossing glaze is translucent, and of course it will not show up on black as it shows up on white or on the coffee dyed paper. And some of you were a little bit confused, I guess. I did that because it is not only like completely transparent, yeah, because I mean, here it looks like it was made with clear embossing powder. There's, for my eye, no difference. But with other colors, let me show you, for example, Lumberjack Plaid. That was the color that was released before Lost Shadow. And look here. Can you see that? It is not transparent because of the black. No, that's not the right English. It's not seeming to be transparent because of the black. Yeah, here it seems like the glaze was transparent. But here you can see, with some colors, you can see it even on black. And that was important for me, especially for those colors like red or really dark green, because that is really great for example, Halloween themed papercraft projects, or also for Christmas. I really like that when you can, yeah, make a little like magical red. And that's the reason why I've also swatched that on black, because it's not always coming out like it was transparent. Hopefully that answers your question. I would also like to quickly compare this glaze with the Hickory Smoke glaze. Hickory Smoke is in the Ranger color family next to Lost Shadow. But look at that. Holy crap. I haven't taken this out before recording this part of the video because I wanted to have my live reaction to this on the video. And here we go. This is absolutely incredible. I'm speechless. The right one here is Lost Shadow and this is Hickory Smoke. Crazy. This is just crazy. The Hickory Smoke gets really like yellowish beige compared to Lost Shadow. When I only see this and I knew how Hickory Smoke looked, I was sure, okay, I know how Hickory Smoke looks, yeah? But when I now compare that and put that directly next to each other, it's like two different worlds. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's take out the glaze. The glaze. That is so crazy. That is absolutely crazy. If you have one color, like for example Hickory Smoke, and then you think, okay, I know this gray, and then you have another gray and you put that next to that, and before you've done that, you think, okay, Lost Shadow is also gray. Is there really such a big difference to Hickory Smoke? And when you see it then, you think, okay, what the heck? What the heck? What the heck? I mean, there must be a difference, yeah? Please don't get me wrong. There must be a difference. Otherwise, there was no need to make this color. Yeah, there must be a difference. But that the difference is so extremely... I have nearly no words. Here, the hickory smoke seems to be way more brownish now on the coffee dyed paper than it looked before I knew how this looked. Yeah, when I have it like this, it looks a little bit grayish, and since I have put this next to it, this also looks now for me a little bit brownish as well. Do you know what I mean? But before I knew this, I couldn't see the brown in here. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Whew. Yeah, okay, so here is the swatch of the Distress Paint. I really like how this color comes out on black. This would be really great for snowy, wintry cards. I mean, snow normally is white, yeah, I know. But for me, when snow on cards is a little bit grayish, it makes the feeling of the card or a junk journal page or wherever you want to put that snow a little bit more cozy when it's not totally white, and that would be the perfect color to reach that feeling. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so let's put this not away, but to the color palette of the clean journal that we are going to create during this series. And now we have to decide if Lost Shadow can go with this color palette or not. This is this is absolutely fascinating for me. When this color was released, Tim Holtz said in his video that the color Lost Shadow is in between of pumice stone and hickory smoke. And I was like, okay, if I see this, I can roughly imagine how Lost Shadow in reality will look. When I now put that here, I'm like, oh my goodness, it is exactly in between of both of these. How is that possible? How is that possible when I go with my eye over this? So crazy. So that means I will definitely add my oxide ink swatch here because I want to have this color in the journal. I already know that. Even if I would think that the other mediums would match not so well, I can always only use the oxide ink, but I want to have that here definitely. Oh, a little bit more. It's so beautiful. Why is this pen blue? I have no idea. Let's take the pages for the clean journal and let's see how we can include the Lost Shadow color into the journal with the techniques that we have already done. Meaning with like distressing and putting some of the medium to the pages in exactly the same way that we've done it already. So the first thing that I'm really surprised about is that the color also matches my printable that I have made for this series and for this journal. This printable is called Steamy Floral Smoke. You can find that in my Etsy shop. I will link that down below for you, of course, so that you can check that out. This is... It's absolutely amazing. I mean, I haven't known that, yeah? For all of you who are new here, I have created this printable with the help of this color palette I mean, yeah, with the help of those 3 colors, and of course with the color palette for the grungy journal, because I wanted to have a printable that matches both of the color palettes that I have chosen for this series. And I haven't known anything about Lost Shadow, but the color is in here somehow, and that is for me absolutely amazing. It's just crazy. That matches so well. Okay, so let's see what we can do, and if we can perhaps also bring this color out a little bit more like the others, because I mean we have this here, it's absolutely stunning, so why not try that? Let's take a blank page first, so I will put the others away. So what you could do, and that is of course something that you could do with any other color as well, yeah? That doesn't have to be a gray. That could be a green, a blue, a yellow, a red as well, that you discover during your process of making the journal, and that you then want to include into the pages, or yeah, that was not a good sentence, I guess, but you know what I mean. So how can we do that? First, I want to do something that I think could look really, really nice. I want to take my acrylic plate, and I want to take the oxide ink pad and put some of the ink here, like this. And then I want to spritz some water and just dip the page into the ink. Just like this. Don't be confused, this is relatively wet now. It's not so dark like you can see it here. I will quickly dry that. Yeah, and now we have the problem with the camera. This looks like it's not existing, but in reality you can see that really, really well, especially here in this area. You can see this light gray there. It's really, really hard to see in the camera. But in reality, please believe me, it is there. Can we perhaps try, let's try such a page that is a little bit darker and that already has some of the other colors on top. Because I think when we dip this in here, this could look really great. It mixes up a little bit, as you can see, but let's see how that looks when it's dry. This is absolutely stunning. So cool how this color shows up on this dark background. It's absolutely amazing. This looks so dimensional somehow. Really, really, really gorgeous. That is absolutely cool. Okay, so that is of course one thing that you could do, and I will also do something similar to some of the other pages, just by putting the ink to my acrylic block and then dipping the paper in. You could also of course add more layers of this. I will not do that for this journal, because for this journal, as you know, I want to have a really clean look. I don't want to have grunge or something, yeah, but you could of course transfer this idea to any other style. If you want to have it more grungy, then add more layers, or if you want to have it really extremely, then you could of course also use the ink that is, as we have found out, way more intensive, like the oxide ink, and do the same technique with the distress ink. Or if you want to have it with way more contrast, then you could also use the re-inker. Or if you use another brand and you don't work with the distress line from Ranger, then you could also achieve this by using some acrylic paint that is watered down perhaps a little bit, that gives you more contrast. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is just take the color and think, how do I want to have my project look in the end? If it shall look more clean, then you don't want to have too much contrast. If you want to have it grungy, use more medium or darker medium, more layers to get more contrast and more of this like crumbled and, you know, this bam grunge. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that could be a possibility. What we also could do, and for that I will take only half of the pages because I need the others for the German video. You know, I always make videos in 2 languages and I have to play around a little bit with the possibilities. So I will show you that here on half of the pages. Of course, you could take all of your pages at once for this. And I will do exactly the same thing that we've done the last time with the other colors. I will take the oxide spray and I will, shall we add water or not? Let's perhaps add a tiny little bit water. Just a tiny little bit to make sure that the spray can go into the pages a little bit. And then I will, without spritzing to my swatch, spritz into here a little bit, just to get this color here as well. I don't want to cover up the other colors that I already have in here, but I want to have this as an additional color. So I use exactly the same method like the last time when we did that with the other colors, just like this. Then I will leave that for a moment so that the ink can soak a little bit into the paper, and then I will dry that with my heat gun, and then I guess it will look really, really great. Look, isn't this just great? I mean, especially for this more clean look of a journal, I would say that this color is really, really perfect. You can see that the spray went into the page here relatively far into the page, but this doesn't look grungy. I mean, it's still clean for me. Of course, that is personal taste, how you see that, but for me, this is just a really great addition to the colors that we had before. It makes it more interesting, but not grungy or not clean, yeah, not dirty or something like that. It's really subtle, but it is there, and it's just amazing. I know that in the camera you can't see that so well, but please believe me, it's there and it looks so cool. On this page, for example, I've also done this method with the oxide ink pad, put that ink to my acrylic block, spritzed some water, and then I've pressed the block to the page. This paper is not totally white, and because of that the gray shows up really well, way better in reality than you can see it in the camera. But also here on the edges, this is so tiny, but for me this makes the difference. Absolutely crazy. Here on the top you can see it as well, hopefully a little bit. Yeah, I think I will play around with this color a little bit more, and perhaps I will add a little bit more of this here to some of the other pages, but I have to see that when I have finished the German video and when I have done that to the other pages, because then when I have all of the pages here in front of me, I can decide if it's enough what I have done here with those techniques or if I want to add more. In my next video we will take out some stencils, and we are going to stencil to those pages a little bit to make them more interesting and to get something like, I don't want to call it a background, but something that can give us ideas for the next steps. Something like, yeah, a part of a background that is here and there on the pages. I will show you a really quick and easy way to do that. We are going to choose some stencils that would match the style. I'm talking about the patterns of the stencil. How can you choose them so that they match the style that you want to achieve? And how can you put that stenciling to the pages with the different colors of the color palette that you have chosen. And how, of course, how can you do that for a more cleaner style and for a more grungy style with the other color palette. You will see that in my next video. I hope we will see then. I wish you very much fun with the project that you might have on your desk at the moment. Have a very creative time and see you the next time. Bye bye.